This is the book Anteater's Mystery Vacation, and it's written by Doug Cushman. And it has 4 different chapters. Let's see if we can get through all the chapters. Anteater rides the ferry. Anteater the anteater was going away on vacation. "You are taking a lot of books with you," said Mr. Chumley, her neighbor. "I love mysteries," said Anteater. "All I want to do is relax and read." "We must hurry or you will miss the ferry," said Mr. Chumley. The ferry was waiting at the dock. Ding dong! The captain rang the bell. "All aboard," he cried. "The ferry to the Hotel Bathwater is about to leave." Anteater found a seat and opened her book. Okay. There. The waves were high. The ferry swayed back and forth. Suddenly, a big wave hit the ferry. Whoosh! Crash! Everyone looked sick, all except Anteater. "What a fun ride," she says, "but it is hard to read my mystery." Just then, the first mate rushed on deck. "Has anyone seen the captain?" he cried. "I can't find him anywhere." All the passengers just moaned. "This sounds like a mystery," said Anteater. "I will help you find the captain." Oh. Anteater and the first mate searched the whole boat. They looked on the upper deck. They looked on the lower deck. They looked in the engine room. They even looked in the lifeboats. They could not find the captain anywhere. It's a mystery. "We will be landing soon," said the first mate. "I must lower the anchor." "Stop!" a voice cried. "Do not lower the anchor." "That sounds like the captain," cried the first mate. Anteater rushed to the railing. The first mate ran to get a rope. "Look at the anchor. Who is on the anchor?" The first mate pulled the captain back on deck. He must have been washed over. "What happened?" asked Anteater. "A big wave knocked me overboard," said the captain. "Thank you for saving me." "Anteater, would you like to ring the bell?" "We are about to reach the shore," said the captain. "Oh, yes," said Anteater. "What an exciting way to begin my vacation." "Ding, ding, all ashore," cried Anteater. Anteater follows a sweater. There we go. Anteater checked into the Hotel Bathwater. "We are happy to see you again," said the hotel detective, Mr. Bundy. "It is good to be back," said Anteater. "Shiny, shiny," squawked Pat, the mynah bird. That's how you spell mynah. How about that? "Oh, no," said Anteater. "Do not take the buttons off my sweater. Here is a nice shiny nickel." So she gave him a nickel instead. The bellhop took Anteater's bags to her room. Anteater sat down and opened her book. But she was so tired from her trip, she fell asleep. She dreamed she was a great detective. She followed a dark figure who left giant footprints. The figure reached out its bony hands. "Help! Help!" cried a voice. Anteater woke up. She heard the cry again. "Someone is in trouble," she said. Anteater ran into the hallway. She is running. Someone stole my diamond ring, cried a woman in a green dress. I went into the bathroom to powder my snout. When I came out, my ring was gone. It was right here on the table. I will call Mr. Bundy, said Anteater. He will solve your mystery. When Mr. Bundy came in, he asked, What happened, Miss Wainscott? Someone stole my ring, cried Miss Wainscott. Many things have been missing at the hotel lately, said Mr. Bundy. But we have no clues. Who can the thief be? This is a real mystery, said Anteater. I will get my sweater and help you look for clues. Anteater went to her room to get her sweater, but her sweater was gone. Goodness, she said, now I am missing something. She saw a piece of yarn on the windowsill. Oh my sweater has come undone, Anteater cried. Maybe if I follow the yarn, it will lead me to the thief. She followed the yarn down to the lake, past a bench, around a tree, and into the garden. And there was Pat the Mynah Bird. Next to him were many shiny things. Paper clips, nickels, big silver buttons, a silver pin, and a diamond ring. So you are the thief, said Anteater. Shiny, shiny, Pat squawked. Anteater took everything to the hotel. You found my ring, cried Miss Wainscott. Well, it looks like you solved this mystery, said Mr. Bundy. Thank you, said Anteater. Now I am going to my room to try to read my book. She's not getting a lot of reading time here. Okay. Anteater tastes some soup. Let's see what's going to happen. The next morning, Anteater took a walk in the garden. She stopped near a bench. This is a lovely spot to read my mystery, she said. Then she saw a package on the bench. What could this be? She asked. There it is, cried a voice. Hello, Professor Slagbottom, said Anteater. Is this your package? Yes, said the professor. I am so forgetful. In this package is the leg bone of the rare Swinosaurus, he said. It is the prize bone in my dinosaur collection. Here you are, said Anteater. Thank you, said Professor Slagbottom. I must be off. Anteater opened her book and began to read her mystery. There she is beginning to read. Just as Anteater finished chapter 4, Professor Slagbottom ran into the garden. It's gone! It's gone! He cried. What is gone? Asked Anteater. My bone, my rare bone, said the professor. I cannot find it. He looks very upset. This is a mystery, said Anteater. Let's think. Where did you go this morning? Said Professor Slagbottom. First I went to breakfast. Then I went into the garden and down to the lake. Then I went to the kitchen, and then I went back to my room. We will look in the kitchen first, said Anteater. Have some soup, said the cook. Anteater took a sip of the soup. I do not want to complain, she said, but this soup is awful. It is the worst soup I have ever tasted, said the professor. Oh dear, said the cook. It must be the soup bone. It was very big. Let me see the bone, said Anteater. Look, they're like choking on the soup. Awful. Cook took the lid off of the soup pot. That is my bone, cried the professor. I'm so forgetful. I must have left it in the kitchen. A bone is a bone, said Cook. Professor Slagbottom, said Anteater, I think you may have another discovery. What is that? Asked the professor. That dinosaur bones do not make good soup, said Anteater. Especially when they're so old like that. Anteater finds an ending. After lunch, Anteater was at the lake. She was reading her book. When she looked up, she saw a strange woman sneak up to the back door. She had a notebook in her hand. Said Anteater. She looks like someone from one of my mystery books. Anteater followed her. Anteater saw a piece of paper fall out of the woman's notebook. Anteater picked it up and read it. My goodness, said Anteater, she is a thief. Maybe I can find the painting and take it to Mr. Bundy. Let's see what the note says. So now you know my story. I was the one who stole the famous painting, Still Life with Cabbage and French Fries. I hid it with the dinner plates at the hotel. It's another mystery. Anteater raced into the kitchen. She looked inside every cupboard. She even looked in the drawers and inside the pantry. But there was no painting. Mr. Bundy came into the kitchen. What are you looking for? He asked. Anteater told him all about the strange woman and showed him the paper. We must find her, Mr. Bundy said. Anteater took Mr. Bundy to the back door. This is where I saw her, said Anteater. The door goes into the hotel library, said Mr. Bundy. Suddenly they heard crash. They ran into the library. Books were everywhere. In the middle of the room was the strange woman. There she is. There are books all over the floor. I can't find my ending, the woman cried. Ending? Cried Mr. Bundy. I came to the hotel to finish my new story, said the woman, and now I have lost the ending. Is this it? Asked Anteater. Yes, cried the woman. Thank you. It's the ending of her story. Suddenly, Anteater said, I know who you are. You are Edna Herring, the famous mystery writer. You are my favorite author. I have been trying to finish one of your books since I arrived at the hotel. I love mysteries. So do I, said Miss Herring. Anteater has solved 2 mysteries since she came here, said Mr. Bundy. You have, said Miss Herring. You must tell me all about them. Let's order some tea and talk about mysteries. That is a lovely idea, said Anteater. I think they're calling for tea. And that is what they did. So there they are, sitting, talking about mysteries, sipping on their tea. Looks like they've got some scones there, too. Yum! There we go. And that's the end.